As one of the key cornerstones of Warframe endgame activity, this is a mission type that we all knew and love. It may not seem that obvious on why lots of players love to play survival, but once you unlock yourself a steel path variant of a survival mission, it is pretty apparent on why it is easily one of the most played mission. The core idea of survival is straightforward. As it currently stands, it is a mission that has a very high enemy density with incredibly low stakes. All you need to do is just shoot enemy continuously and you are good to go. You will gain a reward every 5 minutes, but that is just not what you came here for. That's how most of us understood survival, until update 42, the Shadowgrapher, a sudden, unexpected QoL came.
You ever have, but we don't want to make it more complex because it's like a pretty welcoming game mode for new players and whatnot. But we added a little extra, which is you can find around the level some security credentials.
So use her child.
Go, child.
Go, child. Send me to water. Go, child, go.
Trying so hard. I love it. I love it.
Very good. Well done, child.
There it is.
You deposit it, and then you can see in the little hot thing, the speed of the timer is going at double speed.
The TLDR of this new survival is as follows. When a life support capsule spawns, a security bypass spawns in conjunction, typically locate itself around the life support capsule, but can spawn as far as 125 meters away from one. If you consume said life support capsule, the security bypass will despawn immediately after. Such security bypass tends to spawn itself in places that is in plain sight, or in some hidden corners around a big room. Sometimes they may spawn in the same room, but most of the times the spawn location is completely random. Do please keep this in mind. Picking up said bypass reveals the console that you need to put the bypass in, and after that, the timer speed is double for 2 minutes, which means that a total of 60 seconds will be skipped within this period. And that's all. That pretty much covers the newest addition to survival mission, but I know some of you may ask, what is the reason for the video title? To show you why this new addition is fundamentally flawed, I think we should start with the role of a survival mission as a whole. You can think of survival mission as follows. An endless wave of horde coming towards you, and you must quote-unquote survive as long as you could. You could extract when the 5-minute mark is reached, or you could stay way past that mark. You know, even level cap with it. There's hardly anything stopping you except yourself from staying in this mission, or you know, the game itself. Survival mission, like I said just now, is a mission with incredibly low stakes and a mission that consists of only hordes of enemy, free for you to shoot down. There's nothing to defend, no need to hold a point, or even think of anything fancy. You only need to think of killing said endless horde of enemy until you are tired of it and extract at 5-minute mark or something. And it is precisely because of its insanely low stake environment. Survival missions are also incredibly insensitive to any meta or off-meta picks. You can still choose to opt for the craziest KPM machine or the next melee influence slot melee, or pick your favorite weapon that is most likely to be a single target, or a setup that is incredibly goofy. Only the skies can limit your imagination. And this is where one of the issues lies. The problem is not within what security bypass brought to the table, but the idea of security bypass itself. DE once said, "Survival has been a tried and true game mode in Warframe for the last 13 years, and we wanted to add a little extra to the game mode without changing its identity." But the problem is, DE, that's not what really reflects the idea of a survival mission. As I have explained just now, survival is a mission type that has a very little demand in everything else. You are free to do anything, whether it is the most efficient KPM setups or just goofy inefficient setups that somehow works. It is really just a place for you to test it all out. The idea of putting the security bypass in places hidden around rooms that you typically won't go to, or in places that requires you to detour, is entirely going against the idea of playing survival mission. Not to mention that survival is played strictly around a singular big room at most. sometimes even funneling aka staying at a single room at a dead end and force enemy to quote-unquote root themselves. There is hardly any reason for you to constantly move all over the place to seek for something hidden just to make the mission go faster. You don't play survival for scavenging. You play survival just because you want to play the game the way you want, and not constantly bombarded with sheer efficiency over everything aka meta slot. Engage with those security bypass turns it from a mission that allows for all sorts of engaging builds to thrive to something that is equivalent to a scavenge hunt, which goes entirely against the identity of survival. Don't get me wrong, the idea of trying to tie the bypass to life support capsule means that DE is actually trying to solve the issues with life support capsules, which also indicate that they do realize the problem. Yes, in the current age of Warframe, there is no reason for you to interact with said capsule. Your life support is running out, but even if you do, you only pick the one that is the closest to you. And with this new addition, does it solve the problem? Not really. Not to mention that it is also very problematic as the synergy itself isn't quite there. Bypass only spawns once with the capsule, and once it is consumed, the capsule is useless. And even detrimental if you don't consume it, as it can prohibit the spawn of bypasses once you reach the cap of 8 life support capsules. Life support capsule itself is still purposeless in this current age of survival, and the newly added security bypass doesn't even address that fully, and that is just one of the issues. If we are playing survival, mission reward is the last thing that matters, even if a fisher mission is involved. Survival, in comparison to other endless mission, is just a slower, much lesser payout endless fisher mission when something like alchemy, defense, disruption or void cascade is considered. I was able to reach 60-minute mark with a time of 45 minutes 22 seconds, and to be charitable, I would say that I have saved a grand total of 50 minutes. This translates into a speed increase of 1.23 times. For easier contextualization, assume that I have gained 12 rewards at 60-minute mark, which equates to 1 reward per 5 minutes. Now that I gained 12 rewards at 45-minute mark, instead of 5 minutes per reward, it is now 3.75 minutes per reward, as 45 divided by 12 is 3.75. Or you could divide 5 by 1.33 aka the speed increase, which also gives you 3.75. 3.75 minutes is 3 minutes 45 seconds, which is still not very fast in comparison to a min-max defense mission or even something like alchemy or disruption when done well. Especially if you farm disruption on non-SP, it is incredibly fast with a proper build, capable of reaching 2 minutes per round on solo. And if you are resource farming with the usual loot frames, like you are farming for Orokin cells in Gabby, Ceres, you give even less of a damn about the reward and the timer, simply because they don't even provide anything meaningful to the farm you are doing. The resource itself is the thing you care about, not the mission reward itself. The TLDW is that not only the idea itself is flawed due to it not really respecting the identity of survival, it also doesn't fully fix the problems going on with life support capsules being purposeless in the Grand 2026, and can even be detrimental if they are kept around, as it can prevent further bypasses from spawning once it reaches a cap, while farmers and campers still doing basically the same thing with or without security bypass. Even if we talk about pure efficiency, it doesn't really match with other more common endless fisher missions, which is sort of fine for a low stake brain off mission type in my opinion. So, what are my humble suggestions? Pablo, hear me out. You already have some solid ideas that can give survival mission a speed up or some purpose for life support capsules like Kuva Survival. Just combine some ideas, reiterate them and put it into the current iteration of survival. This is also where I base my suggestions with. Instead of spawning the security bypass in some random location, it now drops only from heavy units or Eximus units, just like the Kuva Catalyst from Kuva Survival missions. Speaking of that, you now insert the bypass directly into a life support capsule like Kuva Survival, and immediately, you need to fill the meter up by killing enemies within the 15-meter radius or killing while standing within set radius, as if you are playing a natural cell mission. 20 enemies are needed to fill set life capsule to full. And once you are done, you can now consume the life support capsule, which grants you 15% life support and double the timer speed for 90 seconds, while gaining a 1.25 times credit and resource drop chance boost in this period of time. The idea is to still keep the concept of security bypass alive, but reiterate it to allow a much more fitting concept that combines multiple successful ideas together into a new one. In my humble opinion, security bypass should complement life support capsule, not the other way around. Yes, it is undeniable that it still doesn't make all the players suddenly go for life support capsules. But the idea is to make them have a real, tangible value and respect the real identity of survival life support capsule. This humble suggestion aims to keep the idea of playing survival intact as much as possible, while streamline the speed increase to make it more enticing to chase for, and finally, reward the players who actively engage with these newly implemented systems with increases that aligns itself well with the intentions of playing survival. Still, despite the edition itself is incredibly flawed and serves not many purpose, it still has its benefit. The speed up is quite useful when there's a time limit before you can extract, like 10 minutes or something, and they are mostly non-steal path survival missions. This can help speed up the boring process of waiting for a mission timer to go down before you are done with the mission, although that still doesn't change the fact that the implementation is still flawed. And yeah, that's all for today. As always, my ideas ain't the best, and if you think you could one-up me or any personal thoughts, feel free to leave it down in the comment section below. Type an essay if you are feeling it, like the video for the algorithm, but anyways, see you all next time, goodbye.